Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and look I'm all lit up. It's a beautiful morning here in the south of France, and today we are talking about taking a break from your creativity and not feeling like you always have to be turned up to 11. I think it's really common in our society to kind of appear fully switched on and fully embracing everything and living in the moment and just living life and, full emotion, fully like turned up to 11, essentially, all the time. And I think social media gives us this pressure. We feel like, we have to be out there doing life, making memories, blah, 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 being super creative, being insightful and all of this stuff. And in reality, that is like a really, I hate to use the word toxic, but it is a really toxic trait. I mean, you can't be switched on all the time. You cannot be incredibly like active on social media and creative and, connecting with your friends and making memories. And you cannot do it all at the same time, nor should you. And you also can't maintain it forever. I think a lot of celebrities and people probably fall into this like issue as well, where they feel like, I have to be totally switched on and I have to be like incredibly engaging wherever I go, and I have to act the way that people expect me to act. And no matter who you are, it's unsustainable, and I think it's really detrimental to your health and to who you are. I know, like, since I've been on this trip, I have felt a lot less pressure to have to do all of the typical things that I would normally do when I'm at home, just working and doing everything else. And I've been able to kind of switch off a little bit and just enjoy life, enjoy the food here, enjoy the culture, meet new people, and it's just been really enjoyable. And it makes me think, man, why am I constantly trying to be turned up to 11? I'm trying to be super insightful and thought-provoking all the time, and if I'm not being that, I feel like I'm being less than, and I'm not worthy, or I'm not living up to expectations. And it's okay to take a break. It's okay to sit back and go, actually, I don't need to be obsessed over this or that, or I can just enjoy a nice evening with family or friends. I can just enjoy my morning routine, listen to the birds chirp, but never feel like the pressure to be somebody. I was always like the energetic, excited little kid, excited for Christmas, wake my parents up too early, always asking questions, really engaged with whatever I was doing. If I had a teacher, I was always just like, oh my gosh, what about this? What about this? What happens if this happens? And at some point, that can't be sustained. And so, naturally it can't be sustained. And so I found myself sort of playing the part of myself, like I was playing like an acting role of like, well, Jax is a really exuberant, happy little kid. And so then I felt like I had to like portray that even when I didn't feel it. And even with my friends, like I always felt like I had to be the responsible one, the shoulder to cry on, the one keeping up appearances and maintaining normalcy and like normal behavior. And that's really hard to do. It's not good to do. It's very frustrating. And it leads to burnout. I've talked about burnout before. It's a real thing. It sucks. It's like you hit a wall and you just don't recognize yourself anymore. And the only way to prevent that is to take these breaks and to take these steps back and just say, okay, you know what I'm doing is good. I love my life. I love what I'm doing. I need to correct this. I need to change this. I need to have more balance in this area of my life. And you're not a failure for taking those steps to prevent burnout. You're not a failure for taking the time that you need to just relax. I think, again, we like to think of people as just everything we see, and then when they go home at night, they sort of leave our consciousness and we don't think about them. But everybody's got to eat. Everybody has to sleep. Everybody needs a social connection. Everyone needs love and shelter and all of these basic things. And I think a lot of times we forget that people are people and that they can't meet your expectations every single time. And it would kind of be creepy if they did. They'd be some like perfect robot or artificial intelligence or something. And that's not healthy. That's not what we're trying to promote. We're trying to promote people being healthy and doing things that they love to do and discovering new things about themselves and connecting with other people in a meaningful way. And if you're always just Mr. Perfect or Mrs. Perfect and you have no flaws, have no room for growth, then like what's going on? Some celebrities are really well known for their sort of perfection and never having a foot out of place, but they're also the same celebrities that we always never really connect with. We never feel like we know these people because they lead a very sheltered and private life, because they can't let you see themselves all the time, and it just doesn't work. It's not a way to go. I grew up with a girl, like a friend, and we always thought like, oh, Mrs. Perfect, whatever. And she had just one of the worst burnouts ever. Very public, very detrimental to her health and to everyone else's health. And it really changed my perspective on this whole idea of like perfection and striving for creative masterpiece or something like that. It is totally fine just to take some time or to shift gears. I'm using a lot of interesting metaphors, but it is fine to do that. It's fine to just breathe and relax and enjoy where you are, like a place like this. Like, holy smokes. And that's totally fine. It should always be fine. And I don't want anybody to get the impression that like my life is perfection or my life is a series of amazing events just stacked on top of each other. My life is great. I love it. But, there are fundamental issues. There are fundamental flaws. I get sick. I mess up. I hurt people by doing stupid things. And the social media sphere doesn't really allow people to talk about that kind of stuff. I'm kind of getting a little frustrated with social media in general, because there's specific content that does well in the algorithm, and there's specific things that really resonate with people. Specifically when I talk about my experience being gay, which is fine. I'm glad that people really enjoy that content and that I can, bring something new to the discussion. However, it is frustrating that like the only content that it seems people or the algorithm want is like gay experience, making fun of the gay community, talking about gay dating, while like I'm a multifaceted human being. I'm not just a gay guy who goes on dates. And I find that a little bit creatively stifling, and I've talked to other creators who also agree that it's really frustrating to be known as like the bird girl or the math guy or whatever, and it doesn't allow for like change or growth or nuance or any of that kind of stuff. Everyone's like, we just want to hear you talk about this thing, and it's frustrating. It's just like, man, why is it that this is the only content that seems to like resonate with people? And it's not the only content that resonates with people. It's the way the algorithm works. It's the way this stuff is shaped to keep people on their phones and keep people watching stuff. So don't be surprised if the next few months the content that I talk about or that we discuss is going to be a little bit different, because I'm just going to be experimenting with stuff. I don't know. There's going to be a video, I think, talking more about what's happening next month, but on YouTube, I'm going to move to a video every other day instead of a video every day. I think this is going to give me more ability to talk about things in a greater depth, but also not feel like producing a video every day for an entire year it's been a lot. I've loved it. I've really enjoyed it, but yeah, I think I'm ready for like a little less pressure when it comes to, compiling my thoughts, and I want more time to think about these things and really process what I'm talking about. So that's going to be a little bit of a change, and the content will be a bit of a change. But in all honesty, I think it's going to be a really good and a really positive change. It's going to help my creativity, and I think you have to do stuff like that. You have to change the script. You have to change what you're doing in order to really come to terms with just existing in this hyper content state. So thank you so much for listening. I hope that you're not feeling creatively drained or feeling like you're always having to perform a specific role in a relationship that you have. Please know that it's always okay to take some space, take a breather, take a rest day, and just refocus on what you're actually doing and ask yourself, like, is this important to me? And if it is, how can I make it better? How can I improve what I'm doing and improve the lives of the people around me? So with that being said, thank you so much for listening. And as always, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.